close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
mute mine.
What's up, guys? My name is Davey. I'm also known as GTR Kicker in the community. I'm joined by Jason, also known as DRR Roadkill. How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up, man? I'm doing okay.
That's good. That's good. Jason's feeling a little under the weather today, so you have to excuse his nasally feel.
Yeah, my bad.
Cool. All right, well, we got a huge show planned for you guys today. All right, we got a special guest, TX3 Bilysoo. He's going to be joining us very shortly. First, Jason and I are going to go through a couple things. First up on the agenda today, we're going to touch on some of the community events that have been going on this past week. Some major developments going on. So,
Absolutely.
right now, we'll take a look at the Tora TCC. This is Touring Car Championship, especially for the European side. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Jason though for doing the drop round points as well. I know he puts a lot of effort into these. So looking at these standings, we got GTR Tactical up there. Was I Am Tactical?
Yep.
Now he's GTR Tactical. He's up there at the top. Also got Mead, Hamish, and Huracan. Looks like he's
looks like Tactical's. Yeah, I was just going to say that he's pulling pretty clear. Looks like second place is pretty close for contention with exactly the same amount of points. Don't know what we're going to do about that.
Yeah.
With one more round to go, looks like it's going to be a pretty tight championship overall. Yeah.
I'd say Mead's got a pretty good shot there, I would say. He's only 19 points. Is that 19 points back, I think? Yeah. 19
Yeah,
points.
I'd say so.
So
SME doesn't accrue any more penalties.
Yeah. Tactical looks like he's got that pretty well as well. A couple of guys up there to note as well. Drifting Hero doing really well in the top 5. TUS Dunk as well. I think he's got a couple wins this year in the reverse grid, so solid job from him. And SFM Zai as well, sitting down there in 12th. Good job from him in TCC.
It's a quick look in top 15.
That is a very competitive top 15, yeah. All right, let's transition over now. We got the team standings of the same sort of series, TCC team standings.
Yep.
EVR, Audi
on top, yep. EVR on top, pipping the usual suspects FM. Looks like they dropped around last on round 4. Well, they just maybe had like a bad round.
Yeah, it looks like it, yep. Couple points there.
That's definitely costing the top spot. But
that's pretty much the difference.
Okay.
I mean, they're both tight. I mean, usual suspects
very tight.
EVR really tight. And how about Grip Tech Performance up there? That's the team of... Who is that? Who's on that team? We've got Grip Tech Performance.
Grip Tech is Emma Drive, Mr. Drive, and Drifting Hero,
Yeah,
I believe.
Great job from them. Seriously, up there in 3rd place.
Yep. I'm actually really impressed with the PureTech Racing T1 guys putting a BMW 125i M Sport in the top 4.
That is a very good...
That's an impressive feat because that's a terrible car.
that is probably
if anybody's ever driven.
Probably the worst car in the series, especially the way Torres built them, for sure.
Yeah, and we've managed to put our cruise on the #1 cruise spot, all the way down in 8th place there.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
As well, yeah. Switching over to... This is NATCC now. We got the NATCC standings.
With like Tactical also on top.
Got Tactical as well on top. He really separated himself last week. Round 5 at the track was Silverstone.
Yes.
Able to separate himself from Project.
Yeah, he definitely had a really good round there, yeah.
For sure. We also got Mead up there. Mead's 2nd in TCC and 3rd in NATCC, so solid job from him. Vettel also as well. And let's note GTR Technical there in 5th. This is his first community event as a driver, and after drop rounds, he's
really performing.
5th.
Yeah. Solid effort.
Like that as well.
I see you're up there in the top 10, so you're doing quite well as well.
You're in 12th, man. Not bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad, but yeah. I'd like to be doing better, but I think I've just had a couple of bad qualifyings and I've let myself down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We've all had those days, though, where we haven't been able to qualify on par. Well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I've been qualifying at least 3/10 off my real pace on that last track, at least.
Yeah, but anyways, good effort from Tactical over there. He's got a 16-point lead over Prod Captain still heading into the final week. So good job.
Looking good for him again. Yeah. He's got two championships on lock right now.
Switching over to the teams of NATCC, we got my team, GT Omega Racing by GTR. on top by just a few points over your team, man.
Yeah.
That's two
The
Cruise
Cruise
teams
is
up
doing
top.
much
Yeah.
stronger in the NATCC, it looks like.
Yes.
Managing to put ourselves on top, which is interesting. I think just it's purely on the launch. You can gain so many positions
If
right
anyone's watched those streams or anything like that, the Cruise launches off the line. Doesn't pull as many lateral Gs, but the Cruise really launches off the line and really pull. You can pick up 2 or 3 spots based on how long the front straightaway is.
I'm pretty sure you can pick up 5 spots if we go back to a clip from Nürburgring GP,
oh, yeah,
where you
clip.
go from 7th to 2nd or something like that.
I do go from 8th. I go from 8th to 3rd on Nürburgring GP.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, so GT Omega racing up top with 1 round to go, looking pretty good. I would say, I believe, one thing to note, Screamfish Motorsport sitting there in 6th, had 1 driver missed last week. So
yeah, that looks pretty bad for them.
They were, if I'm not mistaken, the previous week in 3rd, just a couple points behind GTR. So really hurt their chances there with missing a driver.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, FTR copying a 140-point penalty, so that's probably going to cost them a couple of positions. Yeah, it's not great. I see that we got usual suspects, both their teams sitting down in the 8th and 9th spots. I think they've had a couple of drivers miss rounds from the looks of their points.
Right. Yeah.
But it looks like we're pretty much on top for
looking good for the Cruises.
The NATCC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking good for the Cruises this series.
Yeah. Switching gears a little bit now, we've got the British GT. This is Tora's biggest esports championship. So right now we've got the GT4 standings up there, and got to give a shout out to my man Caesar's Wrath up there leading points just over GTR Warwick by 3 points after drop rounds.
Looks like it's going to be a close couple rounds for them for the next at least 3. It's going to be a tight series. EVR Hurricane and Mead also up there in the top 5. Drift and Hero also with a solid performance. Top 7. Or 7th place, rather. Yeah, it looks like a pretty competitive series.
Yep, we got Aston Martin's up at the top as well, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, Aston Martin's on top, but there's a BRZ in there and the GT4. I don't think it's got too much to go there. Like, there's less than 23 points separating the top 5 there, I'm pretty sure.
That's
top
pretty
6.
tight. We got a couple more rounds to go,
Yeah.
so that should be very interesting to see if Slothatron or Hurricane can get up there. Maybe challenge for
we'll see how the
championship.
We'll see how the drop rounds change over the next 3 rounds as well. That could probably shift up this order quite a lot.
Yeah. We also got team
potential
standings.
to anyway.
Yep. And
team
those 2 guys you just saw up at the top, we got Team Get T Ready. That's one of the best names I think I've ever seen.
That's a bit clever. Another level GT is quite nice as well. I like that one.
They got a pretty commanding lead, man. Looks like over 300
Yeah,
points.
looks like they're pretty comfortably sitting there in first place.
So not too much going there. We can switch over to the GT3 guys, however. This is interesting. We've got FTR Dominance up top right now. FTR
complete
Vane,
sweep.
And Servi. Look at
that. And Vane killing the last 3 rounds with just total sweeps, it looks like.
I would assume that that's, I think, first places across the board in those races.
Well, they're only sitting 20 points ahead of his teammate Vettel, so it's still pretty tight, I'd say. He's still got 3 rounds to go.
We'll see if Vane can keep up that dominance. Also to note, look at the top 4, including Europa.
Yeah.
We've got Porsches. It's all Porsches.
Yeah, a Porsche dominant series. I speculate that there could be a bit of a balancing issue. I'm not saying that those guys aren't doing a great job, because they are, but it does seem a little interesting that all 4 top spots are only Porsches.
Yeah, that is a little
definitely
weird, but
and there's really no slouches in that top 15. Everybody's really quick.
I mean, I know Solar's quick. I know Hamish is quick. Sloofy is quick. No Mercy is quick. I mean, these guys are quick drivers, looking like they're in different cars.
Absolutely.
It looks like just the Porsches are up top. They're kind of taking control.
Yep. Might be an FTR specialty GT3 though. You never know. They just could be, really impressive on this sort of vehicle.
Right. That's also true. And nothing, no new news here with the team that's leading the points. FTR. So, but look at Kaito HCR Scrublords right there, about 100 points off. So
yeah, that's quite a gap. They've
that is quite a
themselves
challenge.
quite a lot, and it's going to take a lot for HCR to break past, get past them there in the next 3 rounds, particularly with the performances from the FTR guys in the last few rounds. Those are some strong points. I don't know how you're going to overcome that one.
For sure. So, alrighty. So those are our community sort of getting. Oops. Wow, wrong screen. So those are our community events going on right now. The main ones that are going on. So top notch to those
Thanks
guys.
to Tora, by the way, for putting those on.
Yeah. Also, if you guys want to catch some streaming, I know YMTV streams the British GT as well. Usually, I think it's one Sunday a month. So try to catch those on YMTV. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel. Also, I'm pretty sure GTR Tactical has a Twitch channel, and he streams all of the NATCC and TCC. So if you guys want to tune into those racing, seriously, go subscribe to them. So now we're going to talk about sort of an update that came for Forza this week. A really big update. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And Jason, you and I have some things we want to touch on. We had no more prize crates. We got some cars coming back. A new car pack. We've also got some fixes and bugs. So first thing let's touch on is the no more prize crates for cars at least. What are your thoughts on that at least?
Look, I'm not too phased. I never really used the prize crates anyway. I can't say I'm disappointed to see them go or anything like that, but I'm sure there's some people that enjoyed that whole, slot machine style risky purchase to see if you get anything from it.
I never used them. I really didn't, especially the car ones. I don't know. I just heard people be like, I don't get anything from the car, like the car crates. And I was like, well, I'm not going to waste my money, and honestly, I know there's a couple of people saying at the beginning when the game first came out, they were like, oh, well, I don't really, why do we have these and then we have problems with the other games? So I know a couple of people were like kind of hesitant about them in the first place. So I don't know how many people actually use them avidly.
I'm not too sure either. I'm pretty sure there was some talk about the prize crates being one step from microtransactions, and so it's a good idea for them to step away from that direction, in my opinion. I
don't think we're losing too much by losing the cars. We've still got the driver gear. We've still got the what else do we have? We still have the I think we got mods, stuff like that in the prize crates. So I mean, we still have prize crates, but we don't have cars. So I don't think it's too much of a loss for the game.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna miss them.
What do you guys think? Seriously, leave a comment below if you guys use them or not, because I don't know anyone that uses them, and if you're upset about leaving them, let us know, because I don't know anyone that's upset that they're gone. So at least the cars, anyways. So one reason that they did actually get rid of those was because a new sort of thing in the update as well was all the cars are purchasable now. So except for Forza editions. Now, again, a little bit of backlash in the community. I heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, you're going to make all the cars. You said you're going to make all the cars free to buy, but then, not Forza edition." So, personally, I'm okay with that, because Forza editions are something that kind of provide an exclusivity to the game, and they're kind of rare, and a lot of people don't really use them either. So I don't think it's a bad thing that those remain locked.
Well, no, and honestly, since as far as I can remember, I'm not too sure about Forza 2 and stuff like that, but since at least Forza 4, they've always had unicorn cars, and that's just continuing that tradition of having some cars that other people don't have. There's not too much of an advantage in having the Forza Edition cars anyway. They don't seem to be particularly strong in their own homologated areas, or like the dominant ones in lobbies anyway, or public hoppers.
Yeah, I mean, people use them. People use them.
Yeah, people use them, but
they're not like OP cars. Like, they're not like the GT40 and A-Class. You know what I mean? Or S-Class or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They're not something that like the noob's gonna be in there and be like, oh, I'm about to get a podium every time I'm in here. No, they're just, I think they're more of
there's no unfair advantage there.
I think they're just like collector's items, which is why I'm okay with them being locked. I mean, you should be able to earn them. You have like showcase events to get them as well, or not showcase events, but things in the career you have to unlock certain things.
You mean Forza events, by the way?
Yeah, and stuff like that. Well, and in the career, so in the Forza Drivers Cup in the game, you have to complete certain events in order to be able to do it. In order to be able to get the cars.
And they're not unattainable. So
exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't think that it's a bad thing that they remain locked, but I think it's a good thing that they finally opened up all the cars to being unlocked.
especially with the way that the specialty dealer was working. I mean, or rather not working. That was pretty terrible.
They just kept cycling through the same cars, and it was kind of like, well, I already have these cars, so yeah, not really too big of a loss there. But I definitely think it's an improvement. It's a good aspect of the update that they made for sure.
Yeah, and then moving on to the menu lag fix. It's pretty decent as far as I can tell. I don't know how you found it, but it's an improvement. I'd say it's a step in the right direction. It's not completely solved,
Right.
but yeah, we're heading in the right direction there with that. If you want to pull it up now, that's probably a good idea.
Let me see here. So this is mine. I've noticed. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. This is mine.
It looks like you're showing off the track. I'm seeing hot lap challenge.
Well, that's up.
Yeah.
Let's change that real quick. There we go. All right. So
Okay.
this is the menu lag now. It looks better, I would say, a little bit.
I mean, compared to last time, where compared to prior to this, where I would pick the wrong car even though I'm selecting the correct car from visuals.
Yeah. No, it would definitely show up.
It's definitely a bit crisper, but there's still a bit of response time, which is pretty understandable, I suppose.
Understandable,
but
yeah, I can't argue with that. But the only thing,
it's definitely an improvement, like I said.
I think it is an improvement. And my only complaint though is like, look, I've got a paint job on this car here. Okay, it's not a very.
But it doesn't show up on the left.
It's not a good paint job, whatever. But I think you're able to see the car on the left side when it's there, and I don't really understand why it's not there. Same with this one here. This car doesn't even have a paint job on it. This is a standard paint in the game, and I can't see.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I can't see the car, like the car itself on the left. So and I know I'm not the only one experiencing this problem. So
yeah,
I think it's.
I've had some interesting experiences with that, with like
Yeah.
some of my cars showing the wrong paint job in that left-hand sidebar.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it's perfectly fixed yet, but I will say that I think it's better. I think it is better.
Yeah, it's an improvement, and that's what we're looking for.
You can actually see your cars. You can actually see your cars in multiplayer now, which is good. Like you can
at least you're not going to select the wrong car. That's a positive.
Right, exactly. So definitely think that's a positive. So we've also got a new car pack out, and
I'm really excited about those things.
I think the car pack is actually really good. We had the Porsche.
Yeah.
We had the Porsche one, which is kind of like we get the two Porsche cars, 911 GT3 RS, the 2019 one. I have to say it does look exactly like the 2016 version in the game, especially there are a couple minor tweaks, but it is 3 years newer, so I guess I can understand. I mean, it's a supercar. We love supercars, so I'm not going to complain with that one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are probably saying at least it's not another Honda Odyssey. Even though I kind of like the Honda Odyssey.
I will take it. Two cars that you and I are both excited about, though, in the car pack, McLaren 720S and the Ferrari 812 Superfast. So
yeah.
So I've been.
There's a couple other ones in there that I'm excited about, but yeah, those two other dominant ones for sure.
Yeah. So first one, I got a little bit of gameplay for both these cars here, so you guys can see. If you guys haven't seen these cars, this is the McLaren 720S, the 2018 version. Just look at it.
It's a really good looking car.
Isn't it beautiful? It's just beautiful. And, oh man, headphone users, put them in right now because if you just hear this thing, it's beautiful. It's absolutely awesome. I know you and I have had a chance to drive these cars.
Yeah, I really enjoyed driving it. I drove around the Nürburgring in my life, and I found it very easy to drive. I don't think it's going to be the best car in S-Class. I think it's probably where it's going to find its home. But it's definitely a fun car to drive and a great addition to the game. So, looking forward to seeing that around and maybe seeing a spec series with it. That'd be great.
I would love to see that. I would definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, well, I would too. It'd be a really good looking spec series, by the way.
One thing I noticed when I was driving this car is I drove it stock, so
yeah, so better.
very smooth.
You drove it with sim steering, didn't you?
I did drive it with sim steering, yeah. So it's very sensitive, obviously because it's got so much power. But I think I love it. It's just so smooth. I think it'll be great to use in online hoppers for sure. In S-Class, it's stock. It's R16, so it's going to have a couple restrictions on it, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, 816, but to drop that PI, they generally just add a restrictor plate, and that kind of kills the car for me a little bit, driving it in that homologated spot. But I can live with it. It'll be okay. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to be the dominant car in S-Class or anything like that, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Great addition.
We've also got the Ferrari F12, not F12, Ferrari 812, super fast.
812, yep.
I drove this around Mugello, so got to stick with the
Great
country
car.
themes, you know what I mean? You got the British car and the British track and Superstar, and now we got
Italian car, Italian track.
This car, I gotta say this, I think Ferrari
sounds great.
Beautiful steering wheels. Just look at it.
Their gauge clusters as well. Like I don't know, I like the yellow. I like the black. It looks quite dramatic.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Probably a bit of a heavier car, a bit more of a boat than McLaren, but I think I like the direction they're going with this car.
Sure. I think it looks really good. It's got a lot of speed. A little bit of understeer, and it's very sensitive on oversteer as well. Completely bend snap. You can see it when it's turning it slowly.
A lot of power too, so
it does have
that kind of makes sense.
You can playing with the throttle on the bottom as well, so
yeah, watching those revs just jumping down.
Slide around right there, so it's definitely a moment car. I think it's also going to be another
Yeah, it's a good looking car as well. Ferrari's doing really well there.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah,
a couple other ones I wanted to touch on was the LS3 powered roll cage go-kart car that came through. I can't remember its name right now. I'm drawing a blank, but that looks like a lot of fun.
I haven't actually driven that yet. Those are the only two cars I've driven. I've been too concerned with RC and stuff like that and NATCC, but I would love to get in that car. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive, a lot of power, a lot of oversteer.
Sweet.
I think a spec series with that would be quite interesting. A bit messy, probably, potentially, but
definitely
could be a bit of fun. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's the July update, guys. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more. Hopefully the track limits will come out in the next update for sure. I would really like to see those come out and use those, especially for RC. So we're going to take a little bit of a shift here, guys. Bilysoo's about ready to come on. We just have one topic we're going to talk about here real quick before we bring on Bilysoo. So it's something that I saw in the community that kind of sparked a lot of debate, and Jason and I are going to kind of go back and forth here a little bit about this. So the topic I saw was there's a couple of people who were maybe upset about the car track choice combination this week in the FRC rival. So if you guys aren't aware, the FRC rival this week was Road Atlanta, and it had the 1970 Dodge Challenger. So a lot of people were like, well, this is a racing championship. We should only have racing cars. And, this car just handles really bad, or it's really bad for this track. My kind of take on it is, okay, well, in order to kind of balance the two parties, one side was like, we should be able to drive anything and everything. You should be able to handle it. And then the other side was like, well, it's a racing championship. We should get the real drivers out there and show the racing. And the only problem is someone brought up a good point, like, well, the road cars bring up really good racing. So what I kind of took
as we saw on the previous Forza RC at Indianapolis GP with the Mustang.
Exactly.
Great racing there. Probably one of the better races.
So my kind of take on it was, okay, if you want to balance these, all right, maybe the rivals separate the drivers. Okay, so maybe you put racing cars as the rivals events, but then in the races or at the LAN events, you put in you mix everything up. You throw everything at them. You know what I mean? Because then you've got the racing and you're separating the drivers. That was my kind of take on it. And you had a different stance.
Yeah, I thought that the addition of these, like the use of these road cars in the Forza RC is like a really good idea. I think, well, for starters, if you look at the leaderboards at the moment, they're quite static still. Like the top guys are up there, Lightning, Lage, Hard BR. They're all still there in the top 5, top 10. It's not really changing too much. It also gives a chance to the guys that are a bit down on the slower side. So like in the top 20, say, they could get mixed up with some of the guys that are a bit more road car friendly. I know I enjoyed that rival. I didn't do too well, I don't think. I didn't manage to put too much time into it. But yeah, no, I don't mind them at all. And I think it's distinguishes Forza from the other racing series. Like it's one of the only ones with road cars in it. Well, with this amount of road cars in it, so it's not a bad thing in my opinion.
Yeah, if you just
I
want
enjoyed
race
that.
cars, go to Project Cars, go to Gran Turismo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Forza, and that's why we have road cars.
Yeah, and I can see like where you're coming from, especially like you know, in terms of like the leaderboard. I think that's what makes those guys so great on top is that they're able to adapt. They're always up there no matter what
right.
car you throw them in. So, but it does give the opportunity, like you said, to a couple of those guys down below. I know there's a guy on my friends list who is really good in these weighty, like boat kind of cars that you can just throw into a turn and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But then, you know, he's not as strong in other cars. Like, see, my preference is I love GT3 cars and I love front wheel drive cars. Those are like me. So when I see a front wheel drive rival, I'm like, yes. But you know, at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if people are kind of, you know, upset about this, then maybe it is, you know, maybe you should look at it and maybe just do sort of the things that are going to distinguish the best drivers, even though that they're always up there. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still distinguishing the best drivers. I mean, it's just different mediums, I guess is the word to use. As I said, the leaderboards are static, so it's not changing anything over the top. Like if you're struggling, you're struggling. It's just something you have to get better at. That's Forza. That's the game. Like if the game is hoppers and road cars, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I do like.
So I don't expect them to change it.
Yeah, and I do like though that how Forza, it is sort of the game that you can go to where you can drive anything and everything. It allows us to do things that we couldn't normally do in the real world, which is I think that is so great about it, and that's why I think it's the most popular one because you have all these opportunities.
And it's also very.
To do.
Yeah, it's also very diverse. So like the diversity brings like a much larger crowd. I mean, maybe that crowd's not exactly the one we want, like some rammers. But yeah, no, like the diversity is good. I think the spread is good. If you just saw race cars every single like leaderboard, it would just kind of get stale.
Yeah. I can see your point. Yeah. Guys, what is your take on this? All right, leave it in the comments below. Add us at Off the Track. What is your comment on this debate? Where do you stand? We have a special guest that we want to bring on now and actually get his take on this topic. He's none other than TX3 Bilysoo. How are you, man? How you doing?
What's up, Bilysoo?
Hello. Thank you. Doing great.
Awesome.
Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, no problem, man. Pleasure to have you on. So, we just, you know, what we were just talking about, you know, did you have a problem with the car-track combination, or was it, you know, do you think that it's fine the way there's, you know, Forza set everything up? What's your kind of take on this week's the Rival event?
The Rivals event was pretty challenging. I'm usually used to actually using tuned cars that have nice brake pressures, set up suspension so they don't just bounce around and then bottom out on tracks that have little dips or crevices. And so it was very challenging, but what I kind of realized is that everyone's given the same tool and then eventually we have to get used to it. So in terms of Rivals, I don't have any objections to it. It also, and as Jason mentioned, the leaderboard is pretty stagnant at the moment. Hardbr is still up there, Box is still up there, Lage is up there. So yeah, I mean, and then if a driver can adapt to different cars for a given amount of time quicker than others, that just highlights their driving abilities more than others. So
I agree. I really do.
Yeah.
That's what I think Forza's about, is just being adaptable and being consistent across just different disciplines of racing. Like, that's important.
Yeah, and I hate the car as well. So, but
I struggled
you
mightily
have to
with
suck
that
it up.
thing, man. I hated that thing, to be honest. I even struggled in the Sunday heats today and in the Saturday Ghost races yesterday. I hated that thing so much with a passion. But I mean, you know, I think that's what makes it so diverse, is really that you're allowed to be able to do all these different things, and I think that's really good. How was your RC trip and everything like that? I know, if you guys don't know, Bilysoo was invited to go to RC. I think he was ranked 22nd, 23rd-ish, and did very well. He got through the quarterfinals, and I think ended up 24th, 23rd, 22nd overall in Seattle. How was that for you, man? Did you outperform yourself? Did you live up to your expectations? What did you think?
My goal initially at the Seattle playoff was to actually make it into top 24. So passing the quarterfinal itself was a challenge for me. And then when I actually got there, I couldn't be more happier that I actually made it to semifinals. Considering that in my lobby, there's a bunch of guys that are already like super quicker than me. So it was a mostly matter of luck to me. And then after I actually made it, I was really, really happy about the results. And then I can't regret for anything. And
Good.
yeah, in terms of Seattle itself, the weather was nicer than California. So
Really?
That's a bit of a working holiday for you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's awesome, man. The other thing, we gotta get to the bottom of this. Like, actually, before we talk about that, I have an awesome video of you
Performing in Seattle.
I think this was the quarterfinals at Sebring. All right, guys, take a look at this. Bilysoo gets a little out of shape, and then he makes an amazing move. So check this out.
Look at Bilysoo, looking good. I mean, this is if I want to make a move, I'm gonna make
Bilysoo doing what Bilysoo does best. Making mistakes.
Yeah, on board with this.
Yeah, making mistakes. Oh, that
Says your error.
I can remember that
3
vividly.
spots. Yeah. So talk us through what you were thinking when that happened.
First, my head just went blank. After I made that mistake with Cammy, and I'm really apologize to him, and then my head just went blank because I realized that I was on the borderline of actually making it to the semifinals, and then whatever I did wrong, and then if I do anything wrong at this stage, that means that I might be out of making it into semifinals. So I sort of just panicked and then couldn't think of anything else at that point. So my head just went blank.
Here's the spot right here. Look at that. Look at this. My man taking 3 spots away from these guys. It's like you took it from me. I'm gonna take them right back. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would have counted
It's impressive recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have counted most of that
same
to
way.
luck, to be honest.
What were you thinking?
right place, right time.
Like, you see these guys just like it's like Moses parting the Red Sea, and you're like, oh, thank you. Like, what are you thinking through that?
Well, I just sort of followed the guys behind. And as I mentioned earlier, my head just went blank, so I couldn't do much to actually outperform myself or whatever. And then actually catching up to the guy itself was a task in itself. They're already quick. I mean, Craviator, Cammy, and Force One, they're renowned drivers in the Forza community. So catching up to them itself was a task in itself. And then since my head was blank, I just prayed for any chance of luck I could get out of that situation. And then, honestly, it just happened right after a couple turns, I think.
Yes.
Awesome.
Quarter of a track.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like your prayers were answered and you managed to gain those positions back. That was pretty impressive.
Yep.
One of the better passes we saw in that series, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw that too. I was like, yes, Bilysoo.
Do you know who else was excited? Was Ali Yachts.
Oh. Yes,
Yeah.
we need to talk about him, Ali. I hope you're watching right now because we have a special little like 5-minute segment just dedicated to you and Bilysoo right now. So can we get like the inside scoop? Like what's good with you guys? I mean, did he take you out to dinner when you were there, or like what's good?
I don't know.
you just came on to entertainment tonight.
I guess we. Well, if you can think of a very generic routine for hanging out with someone else, I guess that's what we did. So just imagine things in your head, and then I'm not gonna mention it. But
I imagine candlelit dinner, red wine, breadsticks,
sure,
and then a movie. So,
well, in all honesty, I did have a chance to actually meet him at Seattle after the playoff was over, and then he was a really nice person, and then his persona didn't change at all from when he's broadcasting to in real life. So a really generous and kind person. So it was nice to meet him. Yeah.
Aw. Those are some great things you got to say about him. That's really cute. Aw.
Make sure you invite us to the wedding.
Oh yeah, sure.
This video here is when we first learned that Ali is like your biggest fan. Just
And we
listen
are
to this.
tied
Like this
at
man.
35
Oh my goodness.
apiece with a reverse grid
Oh my
coming,
God.
Ali, the drama.
Look at third. Look at third place. Go Billy.
Oh my!
Apologize for
I'm
the,
talking about an epic one-on-one battle, and you got to go to Bilysoo.
Yeah. I just wanted to spice things up a little bit. We can talk about Lightning and Venom till the cows come home. But Bilysoo sitting there third position. You know, I'm just so hyped for him. That's
I can
awesome.
only
First
smile.
time out the Forza Racing Championship. This guy is an absolute monster in community racing. Everyone knows he's just fast as anything, and he's out there doing it, just straight out of the box. I love it.
By the way, I heard the producers in the back say, "Can we get Mellish for 2 weeks? We got to get this.
This guy keeps talking about Bilysoo.
We got to get this fanboy off the desk."
Goodness. That's when I was like, wow, this man is like the biggest fan. We got to talk to Billy about this. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Oh my
when
God.
I saw him flipping out on that on the stream, I thought that was really cool to know that that's what was happening. How does it feel to you to have your name thrown around about like that by guys like Tanner Faust and Ali Yachts?
It's pretty surprising. Honestly, I didn't expect that much of an attention going into our first Wednesday showdown. My sole objective was to not crash and then finish the race. Wasn't really planning on doing anything stupid. So, basically, in other terms, I wasn't trying to stand out or anything. And then once Yachts mentioned my name, and I actually went back and then watched the entire stream, and then really just honestly surprised by just the reaction. Yeah, didn't really expect anything like that. So yeah, and then I went straight to my mom and I was like, "Hey, mom, I'm famous now." And then
That's awesome. That's
Fair
awesome.
so thanks, Yachts.
I know, Jason, you had a nice, cool question about how maybe Bilysoo got into Forza RC or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Like I was gonna ask. I mean, I can't remember the exact wording of the question. If you could help me out on this one, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get into racing? Things
Yeah,
like
he
that.
wanted to know how you got into racing and how you sort of started your little journey to becoming Aliot's biggest fan, pretty much.
Yeah.
But no, basically how you got into it and stuff like that. I mean, I think you have a pretty unique story as well.
So I started Forza. Actually, the interesting story is that I didn't have an Xbox to start off with actually to play Forza. What basically happened was when Forza 6 Apex came out, which was basically the PC trial version for the regular Forza 6 on Xbox, and I had a chance to actually play that game on my personal computer at home, and then somehow I found it really enjoyable, so I kept playing on it. And then in Forza 6 Apex, there's a leaderboard with point system, so it's not a regular leaderboard. And current Forza with lap times on tracks and things like that, it's solely based on how well you can drive and then how basically how much you can follow the racing lines in games. And then on that leaderboard, I was always ranking in top 10s, and then my points were high enough to actually compete with other faster drivers on the PC side, of course. And then so I got interested, so I went out and then bought myself an Xbox and sold Forza 6. Actually, I did participate in the first season of RC, and then before I bought my Xbox and then just looking at the leaderboards in PC, I was kind of like, okay, I'm good. I think I can do this. The season 1 of RC, I was perhaps overconfident actually when I actually went into Xbox and then done the first rivals. I think within first 10 laps I was 500 in the leaderboard, and then I couldn't even break into top 100 actually. Back then it was pretty staggering just to see. Yeah, there's a lot of difference between PC players and Xbox, so that transition was kind of hard. So after that, I guess humiliation
We've all experienced that once or
Yeah,
twice. Mate.
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It was incomprehensible how the guys at the top, even back then, Lage was still just topping out the leaderboards. And then I couldn't understand how he or other drivers that are faster than me could pull off such a perfect laps using controllers. So that was incomprehensible to me, just simply for my tiny little brain, that is. And then so I just started practicing over and over in Forza 6. And then the third season of RC came around. I did that. I did qualify for Le Mans. That was pretty huge, actually. Like before I went to the Le Mans event, I was just practicing throughout without doing any lobby racing or anything like that. So just purely doing rivals. And then my pace just improved dramatically from there. I had a sense of understanding of the game better than I was before, so I was able to catch up to faster guys pretty quickly and then learn how they do things. And yeah, that's how my racing started, and here I am.
Well, you've come a long way in a short time. I mean, that's an impressive learning curve. I think you're a bit of a natural talent, and you put in the hard work, and you've cultivated that skill.
No, not really. I'll be honest.
Come on, man. Whenever we get into a lobby with you, it's always like, oh, there goes Bilysoo again. You know, I mean, this man was putting down, I don't know, like a second faster than me at least in freaking, I don't know what it was, FRC training events or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, the Pro-Am leaderboard?
Oh,
yeah.
He was long gone out of me in that. That was not my car. That car is not my cup of tea. But yeah, you know, we get into lobbies with Bilysoo, and it's like, how the hell are you doing this, man? But and then half the time he's like, guys, I'm not even fast, and it's like, you have no room to talk, bro.
Yeah, he's sitting there in like the top 12, top 13, and he's like, oh yeah, no, that's a slow time, and
half the time,
it's very frustrating.
I was watching one of your streams, and guys, seriously, go watch his streams. He does a lot of streaming as well. It's Bilysoo Racing on Twitch. One of your streams was like, it was like the first like 4 laps of the Pro-Am one, and you're just like, you cross the line like, yes, I beat Race Boy. And I'm like, so, you know, if you guys want to see more content like that, go check out Bilysoo's Twitch page. Seriously,
if you want a masterclass on hot lapping, go follow Bilysoo.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff on my channel is crap, so don't expect a lot of quality. But
yeah, if you just
I don't know.
want,
There's a pretty good video
crap.
of me snoring.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't actually have that for the stream today, but yes, Bilysoo got a awesome video of Jason snoring in a party on Xbox, and then McQueen started inviting people into the party to hear you snore.
I work nights, man. What can I say?
I needed entertainment, and I found one. Yeah.
I'm glad I could do something for you, Bilysoo, because I'm definitely not teaching you how to drive.
It's like an hour and 40-minute video, too, of Jason just knocked out.
At the end, it was the whole entire video size was 12 gigs.
Oh, God.
I tried to upload that, but my internet bandwidth isn't enough to handle 12 gigs this morning, unfortunately. So, like, yeah.
Jason's snoring is magnified on a way too great a scale to be able to be done by a computer. So
it's really not that bad.
We have one more story we want to tell that involves your former profile picture on Twitter.
Oh, crap.
So do you want to tell the story, or do you want me or Jason to do it?
I'll just do it myself, honestly.
Yeah, so here's
That'll save some embarrassment.
Here's the beautiful picture so now Bilysoo has a profile picture of I believe it's his FRC, or no, actually I think it's like your senior picture or something like that now, but it was your FRC one. But before this, before that, it was this right here of Bilysoo just like against the wall. Tell the viewers
beautiful picture
about this picture.
I ran out of pictures to put on Twitter.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's not true. Tell the real story, or I will.
Every time I wake up, I stare myself in the mirror, and then get depressed. That was the only that picture was the only thing I found that was pleasant about myself and my phone. So there you go. And the story behind it was it was after a workout, I think, and then you know how people after they work out, basically their faces tend to get smaller after a really hard workout because probably due to dehydration, whatnot.
Water weight.
Yeah. So I came around and then looked at myself, and then I was like, okay, I look great. I'm gonna take my shit right now and then take a picture of this. I'm proud of myself.
Mom, get the camera.
So I was like, yeah, I'll get the camera. Yeah, there you go. So this isn't technically a selfie. My mom actually took the picture.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Yeah, really. That's awesome.
No, Bilysoo, we all love you very much.
Yeah.
I think you're.
I appreciate it. I'll take that to my heart.
I think Aliat agrees that you're a very good-looking man.
Yeah. Ellie, if you disagree, say something on Twitter. If you agree, also say something on Twitter. If you're impartial, well, then you should probably. Bilysoo's going to break up with you. Oh, man. All right.
It's like TMZ for Forza, yeah.
Dude, I told you, you're welcome to Entertainment Tonight, man.
Yeah. Get the scoop.
All right, well, pleasure having you on, man. We got one more thing we got to take care of today, and that is the GT Omega Hot Lap Challenge. Bilysoo's got to run 6 laps on Prague Short. So, funny story here. We weren't actually sure if Bilysoo or myself were going to be able to make it today because of the Forza RC in the Sunday heat. So we actually did a pre-recording for the show this week, but we actually didn't end up playing because 1, he was available, and 2, we were forced to do it live because, well, there was no audio from Bilysoo or Roadkill. So the entire hour and a half that we spent on Friday night was completely null and void, no waste of time. However, we did get his lap times, and I have a video of him doing the GT Omega Hot Lap Challenge. So obviously he can't do it twice. So we're going to show the leaderboard first. We've got last week we had Noble Box put down a 103.669, which is a very impressive time. So Bilysoo is going to have his go this week. Remember, he already did his laps, essentially, so this is him right here. If you guys see this picture right on the screen, that is what he's driving with. So it is forced cockpit view, and the mirror is literally right on where you're trying to look to hit the apex.
Yeah.
So
I picked that car for that reason.
It was pretty terrifying.
Yeah,
just driving completely blind.
Yeah, it really is quite an interesting experience. Talk us through how you felt about the car and the track combination, and yeah.
The car felt awesome.
Oh, he's being nice. No, he's
it's
being
not
nice.
sarcasm. That's why.
That's the straight up lie. That car feels like a death trap.
I don't know. One thing I can definitely say, it's very slidey. Especially driving on cobblestones, it's not ideal. But it's a fun car. It's a fun little car.
Absolutely.
A little bit of pain to drive, but
makes it challenging.
A huge handful. I found it a handful. Like, just very.
It has a lot of
power
for the weight of this car. I think it was 380 horsepower or something like that.
Hey! No giving away the specs. There's
Crap.
top secret specs, Bilysoo. Way to ruin it.
It was never mind, guys. It was 700 horsepower. Yeah. and front wheel drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Front wheel drive. All right, guys. So he's pulling up here. He's pulling up here for his first flyer, right? That was his observatory lap. He's going to give his first lap a shot here. Unfortunately, I had to mute the entire video, so I just have music playing underneath it. Because if I played the video sound, there's no sound from the engine because that was another mistake on my part. But
look, there's a picture of Bilysoo.
There's him
look
doing
at that
it.
focus.
Yeah. There's him doing it right there. He cared so much when he came on this broadcast on Friday night that he even put on his TX3 jersey. So he's got his virtual drivers by TX3 jersey on when he was
I didn't do
doing
my
this.
laundry, so.
Yeah.
So remember, guys, he's got no assists on. All right, he's driving a cockpit view, no racing line, no TCS, no ABS, no stability control, nothing. So taking it pretty well.
I think
so
he is
far.
running normal steering.
Yeah, he is number
That
one.
looks gnarly.
He wasn't as
Oh,
brave as
God.
Box last week with the sim steering. But
I don't know why my
Oh,
lifetime
look
is
at that,
still
just
actually.
grazing the wall.
So
Yeah.
this is my first time looking at it.
yeah, you get to watch yourself drive.
Yeah.
Just look at that, the counter steering and the different angles there. That's
The car
quite
is
good.
just all over the place, man. Absolutely.
Oh god.
Wants to jump around and everything. He's already got a taillight out. I'm gonna give you a ticket for that.
That's a 1 second penalty.
Oh damn.
So here, guys, completing his first lap, coming across the line, looking like a. Whoa! Don't have the lap time. Where is it?
I think that I can't remember what that was, but I think it was a 103.02 or a 103.03.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to get. It looks like on the stream I'm trying to get the lap time. I'll have the lap time for you in a second, guys. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Let's see.
From memory, that's what it was. It was an impressive time
There
on
it
his
is.
first
There's
fly.
103.067. His first time.
067,
Right
yeah.
out the box. He beat Box. Goodness. Wow.
When
And,
you dropped that time, how did you feel?
Awesome. It'll probably be my only time actually beating Box in something, so.
We'll make you a trophy.
I believe.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I believe your exact words were, "Take that box and bring on Lage."
I don't recall that. I do not recall that.
Just throwing down the gauntlet for Box there. Box, remember that.
Oh, crap.
Box,
savage.
remember that in Mexico City.
I'm scared for Mexico now. Oh, crap.
Yeah, Lage, if you're watching, man, we'd love to have you on the show. See if you can beat Bilysoo's time of a 103 flat. But
Please don't.
He's still got 2 more laps. He's still got 2 more laps to beat his own time. So let's see what he can do here. He's got another lap here. But right now, as it stands, Bilysoo knocks off Box for the top spot for the full racing rig by GT Omega, which is awesome. So you might win that, man.
Blistering time, sir.
We know you.
And also during this part, I was actually and genuinely sweating from.
Yeah. We'll see that. We'll see that shortly, I'm sure, with you dabbing at your face with a towel or something.
Yeah.
Look at that focus.
Yeah,
Is that the tongue out?
that's his game
Have you
face.
got a tongue out there? Is that what's going
So
on?
I don't think I have my tongue out. No, that's fine. There's nothing wrong
Excuse me.
over there. Yeah.
There's nothing
Just
wrong
don't-
with a focus
Just don't
face.
mind
Have you
the
seen Hard
face.
VR's focus
It
face?
looks. Oh yeah.
he gets the award for like the best focus face out of anyone at
Dude,
RC, man.
it was the most intense look I've ever seen on a Forza player. I was impressed. Clearly, the focus he's delivering during those races is second to none. Like, his pace is very what's the word?
Intense.
Showing that it focused. Yeah, well, yeah.
I would call it
that'll work.
intense. All right,
Aggressive.
Bilysoo coming across the line for his second lap. Second lap comes across at a 103.351.
Also, pipping Box
Yeah, also beating
with
Box.
that time.
But you know, nothing Bilysoo can't handle. So yeah,
We're calling it Bilysoo for Mexico City.
Bilysoo for Mexico City. Yeah, he's got one more lap to try to improve on his time. But yeah, right now he's in the lead, so that's pretty awesome. I like the bear in the background. Look at him smiling. Look at him smiling. He's so happy.
He's relaxed. He doesn't mind. He's not phased.
Oh man. So yeah, so this is the GT Omega Hot Lap Challenge, guys. Bilysoo is just doing his final sighting lap, and then he's got one more lap to go to try to beat his own time on the leaderboard. Let's keep in mind he's a full 3 seconds ahead of me and Jason when we did this, and Jason was the one that came up with this challenge. So that just goes to show like the intense skill that you guys, you know, at the top of the leaderboards have, man.
Yeah. I don't understand how you run 103. That's insane. That's insane pace.
How many episodes do you guys have? So, more?
More?
Yeah.
That's an undisclosed number at the moment, but we will be doing a couple of shows after. We will be doing a couple of shows after the World Championships in London. So I can guarantee you, we will be doing live every Sunday.
I was wondering how many more guests would come in. Beat the crap out of my time.
I will try and get as many as possible.
For sure,
no.
yeah. We've got, I think, I want to say it's like 14 or 15 more shows, something like that. So
14 or 15. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so pretty.
That's
exciting.
a lot of. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's all through the Forza RC season, so.
Yeah, just to throw a spanner in the works because I know you're all practicing really hard.
Yeah. So looking good on this lap so far, man. Little squirrely, but final attempt looking pretty promising, I would say. Roundabout nicely. Get on the curb, get the car to turn a little more. I like it.
He gets.
Oh.
Yeah, he's really just putting the power down there, just fighting the car. That's some beautiful car control. Over here. a little bit, but nice exit there.
Oh, slide, little bit of a slide there. Here it comes, and across the line, Bilysoo's final time, 103.016. Goodness.
With a slide and a couple of mistakes, so it looks like he was going to be in the twos.
Bilysoo.
But yeah, just absolutely alien level times right there.
Oh my goodness.
Please.
So, how does it feel to be an extraterrestrial?
Alienated. I don't know.
Oh, no. Well,
yeah, it's awesome to just beat Box in something at least.
I'm sure Box is really happy with that.
That's awesome.
There goes your ring.
Awesome. Dude, thank you so much.
Denied.
Oh man, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Seriously, we appreciate it. It's great having you on.
Oh, no worries.
And twice, by the way, because we did a whole other one of these. So
yeah,
Bilysoo, thanks for doing this twice with us.
We took up double the amount of time that is required for us.
This is how you know we're friends.
Always better.
Because he's willing to do this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit smoother.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, guys, that's TX3 Bilysoo. Follow him on Twitter. That's his Twitter right there. At TX3 Bilysoo, right there.
Just remember, it's 1L, guys. 1L.
Not 2
1L,
L's.
not two,
I made that mistake.
I can't take two L's, yeah.
Some friend you are. You don't even know it's 1L?
Oh, it was original, like way back then.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, seriously, guys, go follow him on Twitter. Great driver, great person, great guy in the community as well. You can follow me as well at GTR Kicker. You can also follow Jason at DRO Roadkill. We are off the track.
2 L's.
At off the track. So, seriously, thank you so much, man. Seriously, it was a great pleasure having you on, and we gotta thank you twice because we made you do this twice, but
yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in next week as well. We've got another special guest coming up. It's everybody's favorite former independent driver, now drives for FTR. His name is none other than FTR Bokit or Bokit. I'll get clarification on that during the week. You guys are not going to want to miss that at all. It's going to be totally awesome. Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Super excited. So 6 p.m. Eastern next week, 11 p.m. BST. Hope to see you guys then. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.